You're watching DD News Hour. I'm Siddharth Bharadwaj. Amid growing concerns about the risk of an Iranian attack on Israel, US President Joe Biden held talks with his national security team on Monday. President Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris were briefed by the national security team on the situation in West Asia, including threats posed by Iran and its proxies to Israel and US service members. They were also briefed about an attack on Iraq's Al-Assad airbase on Monday and discussed the US response. Biden and Harris were also updated on US efforts to support Israel military if it's attacked and diplomatic efforts to de-escalate regional tension and reach a ceasefire and hostage release deal in Gaza. US Secretary of State Antony Blinken has said escalation in the West Asia is not in anyone's interest. Blinken said that US was engaged in intense diplomacy to help calm tensions amid fears Iran is preparing a retaliatory strike against Israel. During a signing ceremony with his Australian counterpart in Washington, Blinken said all parties must refrain from escalation. Blinken, in his remarks, also called for parties to break the cycle of violence and agree a ceasefire in the Gaza conflict. The US Secretary of State said, and I quote, "It's urgent that all parties make the right choices in the hours and days ahead," unquote. At least 5 US personnel were wounded in an attack on Iraq's Al-Assad airbase on Monday. The suspected rocket attack took place at US and coalition forces at Al-Assad airbase. According to security sources, 2 Katyusha rockets were fired at the base in western Iraq. The attack comes as much of the West Asia remains on high alert. As tensions rise in West Asia, tens of thousands of foreign nationals are trying to leave Lebanon following warnings from a number of embassies. With Iran and its proxies threatening to attack neighboring Israel, many international airlines have suspended their services to the Lebanese capital, Beirut, prompting a scramble from foreign nationals to try and secure a seat out. From Beirut, DD India's Trent Murray has more.
Well, there's been long lines at Beirut International Airport as tens of thousands of foreign nationals here heed their respective governments' advice and try to leave this country as concerns grow. It could be on the brink of seeing a major war. We know a number of embassies have issued urgent warnings for people to leave, but it's just not that simple because there's not that many airlines flying here anymore. Certainly the European carriers, the big ones like British Airways, Lufthansa, Air France have all suspended their services. There really is only a handful of airlines now left from the Middle East, including Qatar, Emirates, Egypt Air and Turkish that are still flying here. But for people trying to leave, securing a seat is very difficult. Demand is exceeding capacity. The flights are sold out for many days ahead, and they're also incredibly expensive. So we do know that there is some concern amongst Western governments in particular about what would happen if a conflict was to break out while people were still here and unable to leave. Back in 2006, when this country saw a war with Israel, then Beirut International Airport was bombed by the Israelis and was taken out of service. Given it's the only airport in the country, that left foreign governments with the difficult task of actually trying to evacuate people via the sea on ships and ferries to neighbouring Cyprus. Of course, we know some of that contingency planning is taking place right now. We can verify that based on what US and other officials are saying in different embassies, but they are hoping that it won't come to that. They're hoping that either tensions can be subsided or foreign nationals can get out still using commercial services. But it does really come at a time where tensions do still remain high. The rhetoric continues to be ratcheted up. And we know both Iran and Lebanon's based Hezbollah are continuing to send a strong signal that a big attack on Israel is still coming. Trent Murray for DD India, Beirut.
US Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin spoke to Israeli Defense Minister Yoav Gallant to reaffirm US commitment to Israel's defense from threats posed by Iran, Lebanese Hezbollah, and other Iran-aligned militia groups. Both the leaders agreed the attack from Iran-aligned militias on US forces stationed at Al-Assad Air Base in western Iraq marked a dangerous escalation. During the conversation, Austin updated Minister Garland on measures to strengthen U.S. military posture in light of this escalating situation.